Come on. Man, what a day. Misty, rainy. Doesn't it make you just want to hop on your motorcycle and go ride in it? What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome back to my channel, Paranormal Biker. Today's conversational topic, well, it is going to be about a review that I released not that long ago, and it's on a cell phone mount. Why don't we get into it? Alright guys, you gotta excuse the lighting in here. It's kind of an overcast day, and yeah, I'm using some redneck editing skills, guys, lighting skills, whatever you want to call it, to be able to make this mount right here show up. Check it out. Alright, without further ado, let's get into this Ciro cell phone mount right here. So I just want to say the quality and construction of the mount is A+. I don't think you'd be able to get into a better constructed mount unless you go into 100% all metal mounts, including the actual cell phone holder. Now, with that being said, the problem I was having with the mount was on the back of the mount, there's a wing nut. And that wing nut grabs around the pivoting ball to the collar that cinches over the pivoting ball, and it essentially takes that collar that's perforated and grabs down onto that pivoting ball as the wing nut gets tighter. Well, I thought that I had that wing nut aligned perfectly and cinched down as about as far as I could go without breaking the back of that cell phone holder. It's not the case. After I released the review, I went on a few more rides on this bike, and I was constantly having these issues, and I was thinking to myself, there's no way that I should have to go in and put some kind of glue or some kind of adhesive to be able to get the mount to stop moving. So I disassembled my windscreen. I'll show you. Which is simple. I just took off these 3 bolts. I pulled this windscreen off, and I was inspecting the back side of this cell phone mount, and I noticed that I didn't have it cross-threaded, but I guess I did have it cross-threaded. It was on there at an angle, but it wasn't in such a way to where it tore up any of the threads, the plastic threads, or carbon fiber threads, whatever the product's made out of, which is pretty stiff product. So I took it off. I inspected the ball to make sure I didn't do any major damage to the unit, which I didn't. I put it all back together again. I tightened it down. I even used some pliers. And I tell you what, ending product, guys, is a cell phone mount that does not, look at that. A cell phone mount that does not move, and it does not move. I've hit some major bumps on, well, I mean, a couple of days ago I went on a 7-hour ride, and I hit some major bumps, and that thing stayed perfectly right in place in its vertical set. So with that being said, I know that there's some reviews on Amazon when you buy this from different suppliers, which, you know, typically you're probably coming from Harley dealers and not directly from Ciro, but nevertheless, there is some reviews, guys, and it talks about, you know, how gravity takes over on that cell phone mount and it'll drag the phone to the left or to the right. The thing is when you're installing this, people are putting that windscreen back on, and then they're coming in and trying to cinch that nut up on the back. Personally, if I could redo this all over again, I would leave the windscreen off, and then I would take the actual cell phone holder and connect it to the pivoting nut, and then cinch that collar on before the windscreen goes back on. And if y'all ride y'all's bikes a lot, you know about how everything sits on your bike. You could actually sit down on it and position that cell phone in the actual operating position that you're going to want it while you're cruising down the road. And then you put the windscreen back on, and if it needs any minor adjustments, that's fine. You could just kind of move it around, play with it a little bit. But besides that, that was the problem I was having. So I don't want y'all guys to look at that review and be, man, I don't know if I want that cell phone mount. As of right now, in that last ride I went on, this cell phone mount right here achieved everything that I possibly could have wanted in all the other cell phone mounts. I just want to point one thing out real quick. This came from a RAM mount. And if any of y'all guys know what RAM mounts are or have used them, you know exactly what piece this is, because this is the piece that's going to be making contact with your handlebars. And I have ran through two of these. Two of them. And I don't know if it's because it's the vibration running through the handlebars. Eventually, it stresses the material and breaks. But guys, if you don't have some kind of safety cord or have your cell phone connected to a charger that doesn't easily disconnect, this will eventually happen. And if you're on a long trip and you're not paying attention to your cell phone and it breaks, you just might lose that bad boy. So I'm telling you, the safer bet here is this guy. Because that mount that runs back into that fairing is made out of all metal. So the only weak spot, potential weak spot on this unit, is going to be right back here in the very back. Which is highly unlikely because it does not have stretched out material that is able to hyperflex, which will cause that break. So guys, if I could redo this all over again, I would definitely buy this cell phone mount by Ciro 3D. I know they make two styles of the cell phone mount. You have one that actually attaches up on the handlebar area, and then the other one goes on the fairing. And then within that, they have upgrades to the actual mount cell phone carrier itself, to where you could run a hot wire into it and it will charge your phone. This is the one that does not have that. This is the one to where I actually ran a cell phone charger from the USB port over and up under. And on this Street Glide, I was able to hide that wire to where it made it look like a factory install. Alright guys, so with that being said, I'd like to add that Ciro 3D is not sponsoring this video. Ciro 3D does not send me freebies to put on my motorcycle to give y'all guys reviews. Everything on that bike comes out of my pocket, out of my hard-earned money. And I do that, and I bring these videos to y'all to help y'all guys outweigh the decisions whether you want to buy it or you don't want to buy it. So with that being said, if you don't mind guys, can you please subscribe, and turn on that notification icon, so next time I come out with one of my videos, y'all guys are well informed. Until then, I appreciate you watching my follow-up review. Stay throttled, my friends.